as grown up as the west coast of Florida has become in the last decade, what's really cool about my visit to Port Richey and Newport Richey is the fact that when you roll into Nick's Park, and it feels like you go back in time. There's an old, I mean, just a beautiful little quaint bait shop called the Bait Depot that sits just across from the park. And believe it or not, they have everything in there. Like this morning, I was short a few mirror lures and I wanted to make sure that we had them when he said that we were gonna go snook fishing. We're gonna need really small baits. I was like, great. That's a one plug I didn't bring. Well, I walked inside the Bait Depot and lo and behold, the mirror lures that they had set there, they had a lot of the Mirrodines and the Mirror Glass and the Mirror Minnows, all the ones you need for snook fishing around here. Well, I just looked at the weather app, and it's saying, you know, typical summertime blues.
Yep.
You know,
hot
rain
in the morning, raining in the afternoon.
Exactly.
But good thing is we got a good outgoing tide, and in the summertime, especially here off of Newport Richey here in Pasco County, our rivers get some juvenile tarpon in them. Mm-hmm. And while they're not always cooperative, they're usually always here. So we're going to start here at the mouth. We're at the Cody River. We're going to start here and see if we can get some of these little baby tarpon to play around with us.
Well, I went over to the Bait Depot and bought a bunch of mirror lures that I thought I'd be short on because I thought we might be trying to tangle with some snook on the outgoing, but I'll do juvenile tarpon.
Yep, and we will. We'll, like I said, the first thing though, because these are right on our way, and it's with tarpon, it's like any tarpon fishery. You see them, and you usually know right off the bat whether it's going to happen or not. And the little ones aren't really any different. You make half a dozen casts at them. If you don't have some kind of interest, typically they're just not interested. So
that's tarpon fishing.
Yeah, that is. It doesn't matter if they're 10 or 100.
Well, we can always play with a few snook, and you guys have a very reliable redfish area up here, so we've always got those to fall back on if we need to. And
those will be a high water, later afternoon type deal. When our water fills up, the redfish are always happy with water over their backs.
Yeah.
Especially here, because they do get some pressure here. So
yeah, so the higher the water, the happier they are. The happier they are, that's right. That's right.
So we'll start with the tarpon, go to the snook, and wind up with the redfish.
I like the plan. Summertime blues plan.
This time of year, the water's hot, air's hot, everything's hot, so it's usually an early morning, late evening type of bite. So what happens is, the more moving water you can get in the summertime, the better off you're gonna be. The tarpon are usually good this time of year, redfish, snook, trout not so much, but the main three are probably gonna be the tarpon, redfish, and snook. And as long as you have good moving water, and like I said, you're not fishing in the hottest part of the day, you're probably gonna do well.
Lots of us go out and we're weekend warriors and we catch trout, and we catch a couple of flounder, and we may catch some redfish and a snook here and there, but no one ever catches tarpon or talks about it. And when you have the opportunity to target tarpon, it just, I don't know, I think every one of us just are attracted to the tarpon. It's just one of those fish that everyone wants to say, hey, I got a tarpon today.
So it always seems like right in here.
I just cast.
Here we go.
Woo!
Oh, he came off.
You scared the crap out of me.
He popped it too.
One of the cool things about being a professional fishing guide in Florida is we have this, like the seasons that we all follow, and we have our clients kind of follow us through these seasons. Big trout in the winter. Springtime, we're looking for redfish and snook that are coming out of the transition areas. We get to summertime, the first thing we want to do is tarpon fish. Well, once the prime time of the migration of tarpon has passed, you get these late summer fish. And lots of them are resident fish that live in rivers, or they live in marina basins, or just in these areas that you wouldn't expect them to be full time. Well, one of those areas is right here in the Cody River. And Greg mentioned it in happenstance that it was a possibility for us to do a little tarpon fishing. And I had no idea there were that many of them around. Right here.
There. Nice.
Fly again. I mean,
probably the one we just watched. There he goes.
He got up.
See that mirror lure stuck right in the side of his face.
You gotta love mirror lure.
Oh man.
You gotta. Oh.
He did.
Yeah.
Or she did.
Smash it. Gotta be my favorite fish. I mean, for all the fish
man.
you and I chase, I think everyone thinks you and I are just redfish guys. The attraction to tarpon fishing for most of us, especially the size tarpon that Greg and I were targeting today, the attraction is they are acrobatic. I mean, they're jumping out of the water. We're catching them on bass gear, really, or what we would call trout redfish gear. And they are so much fun because there's blistering runs. They never seem to go straight away where you're gonna get the zing pow situation. They just kind of jump and then they'll change directions and they'll come back another way. They're really cool to catch, and it's something that's out of the ordinary.
You know, I love tarpon of all sizes, but these right here are they're just fun. They're super acrobatic. They don't wear you out. You can catch them on light tackle.
I like these because you're catching them on bass gear.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. They're fun. Nice.
It's gonna turn my thumb to hamburger.
That's actually a pretty good size one.
Yeah.
He's probably 15 pounds.
Yeah. This rod I like a lot because it has just enough sting in it where I can.
Yep, you can do something with them.
I can do something with them.
When they get close.
Try to get them back over here. I'll tell you what, I like this size way better than the size you and I fish with clients in the summertime.
I agree.
That size, this is a bear. But man, this
Take
water
these all week and twice.
water
on
is
Sunday.
almost red in here. That fish looks like he's.
Yeah, looks like he's orange.
Woo.
With the Cody River here and the Anklet River and all the other little creeks, from here north to Arapica, we get a lot of runoff. So we get a lot of fresh water that flows out into the Gulf, and it basically turns our water red. The tarpon, it doesn't change their color a whole lot. It darkens them up a little bit on the back and on the belly, but on the side, on their scales and everything, they stay pretty much the chrome color. But if you hold them just under the water a little bit and let that water go over them, it turns them almost an auburn color. But it just turns them into a beautiful fish. There you go. He's off to be a tarpon again. Cool.
Nice.
That was nice. Let's get another one.
And he stayed on. You love it when tarpon stay on. Tarpon that size,
Never.
always do the quick release.
That was a good sized fish. They're normally about, that one was probably 15, 20 pounds. They're normally about 12 is on the big side.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
was
cool.
That was unbelievable. Well, when I think about red fishing in general now, redfish are tough. They're one of the most sought after species by most recreational anglers because they're supposed to be easy to catch. Well, that's not the way it really is anymore. There's so many tournaments and there's so many folks that they visibly see redfish in shallow water that they get a lot of pressure. They just do. But today, when we got enough water to keep them nice and happy, we were able to fish like old school stuff and catch these fish. Yeah, I see reds right here. They're 1 o'clock.
Are they?
Yeah,
okay.
Full school. Just come through there slow. You're gonna get them. Oh, came back.
Yeah.
Came back. Just seeing the flash and know that they're there. There's more fish here. I'm gonna stay here for a second, see if I can get the group up again because I can throw this little stick bait in there and get them.
I think I was through them too. I think he followed it out of the bunch.
Yeah, that's a nice fish too.
Yeah.
Let me get the net. I'll go forward and grab the stowaway.
Come here. Okay.
The trick when the hooks are outside the mouth like that, you gotta scoop the whole body.
Yep.
It's a good sized fish too.
Yeah, he's not bad.
I wish you had a medium heavy rod now, huh? Now I think we would have caught them if we were throwing a Mirror 18 Mirrodine or the Live Bait Series Mirrodine or even the 21 Mirrodine. But I had 2 of those white bleach blonde custom Mirrodine colors, and I knew that, okay, we got 2 baits here. We should be able to catch them and we both can throw this bait and see what happens. And when he caught the first one on that bleach blonde Mirrodine, I immediately cut off my soft bait. I was like, that's what I'm gonna throw, because that's a bait that I have a ton of confidence in because I catch a lot of fish on my coast on that, and I knew I wanted to throw that bait, and boy, did it pay off. Ooh, there he is.
Got him?
Got it on. He got it right on the stall.
Yeah, I saw that one roll over and eat.
Right on the stall. Got him from the cheap seats, Greg.
I see that.
See the school behind him?
Yeah, yeah,
see it shaking? Keep my rod low. It's like we never left Louisiana, you and I.
Kind of nice to see a school of fish around here.
You just don't, and you don't get that hardly anymore.
No.
But your area, as close as it is to, population density of Tampa Bay, you guys still have a lot of fish here on the Sports Coast.
We do, and what happens is, like everywhere this time of year, we'll start to get the redfish here, and as pressure hits them, it'll break them up a little bit. But if you get them when they're first here, you'll get a few weeks of them.
Oh yeah.
Where they're like this. It's all just like any fishing. It's all timing.
Boy, I had to change. I went right to what you were throwing.
Yep. I saw he ate that one out.
Oh yeah, there was no doubt. I mean, I was throwing a Pearl Glimmer Z-Man and they just wouldn't hit it like they'll hit a Mirrodine.
Yeah. It could be that they're looking for something like a fish.
That's a gorgeous fish.
That's another nice long
Dude,
one.
that one almost looks like it's from the marsh.
Yep, he's the right color.
Oh man.
Our area along the Sports Coast here we have a lot of redfish. Over the last few years, our numbers have come down a little bit, just because we have a lot of pressure. We have, we're only 45 minutes from Tampa, we're 45 minutes from St. Pete, we're not far from Orlando. So it's a great area for people to come and visit and get on the water. So we have a little more pressure, and it's hurt our redfishing a little bit. However, as we transition from summer into fall, which is right about where we're at now, you'll start to see schools of redfish show up. They'll traditionally show up around a lot of the shallow grass areas along the shore that have rock and have some oyster and everything like that, and they'll stay in pretty good schools. We were able to find one school that had several fish in it and catch them on artificials. Overall, the red fishing is good. I wouldn't call it great in this area right now. However, with what the state is doing as far as restrictions on being able to keep fish and everything like that, the redfish will multiply, and we will have a good population of redfish back before too long.
What's funny, Greg, is we got run out of Louisiana by Marco and Laura. I mean, abruptly.
Yes.
We've been home, what, 2 weeks? Mm-hmm. Since I've been home at my house up on the Nature Coast, it's rained every day.
Yeah.
And it's probably rained every day down here. And it looks like right now between the ramp down there and that right there, we are probably gonna get run out again.
Yeah, it's this time of year. I mean, you can, you know, the old saying is you can set your watch by the storms in Florida in the afternoon, and it's pretty well true. I mean, you wake up in the morning and you feel that humidity, and you know, as soon as that sea breeze shifts west, you know, it's going to start.
It stacks them up.
Yep, stacks them up, and then they just start moving this way. And the storms themselves, I mean, they're, you know, we all grew up watching them. I mean, they're one of the coolest things you see. I love watching them build and everything like that.
I like watching them from the cab of my truck.
Yeah, you have to you have to be careful anymore. You know, the lightning. Yeah. You know, and that's always the sketchy part with the summer storms. They've got so much electricity in them, and because they get big and strong in a hurry
with some big downdraft winds. And
yep. Yeah, I know a lot of people that have been caught in them, and you know, they're out in 40, 50 mile an hour winds. You know, it's not a long time, but it's long enough.
Oh, it can sink your boat.
Yep, it's long enough.
Long enough, it can sink your boat.
Yes, always know where you're at and where you got to get to.
Boiling on it. Got him.
Is that jack?
I'm not sure what it is. It's not running like a jack, is it?
No.
Where are you, buddy? What are you? What are you? Every time I get them close, there's a big boil right there. You see color yet?
Oh, I think it's a red.
It's a red. Yeah, just a better red.
Another one of those reds.
Another one of those redfish. Well, I know there's some jacks in here. You said there was some jacks in here. You saw them blasting down there.
Yeah. And just he never hit like a jack. Usually the jacks get that big explosion. Eventually,
you know you're going to catch one of those jacks.
Yeah. That one's a pretty good one.
Yeah, this is a pretty good one here. That or I'm turning into a weakling. Another sucker for the bleach blonde.
That's that one with 2 dots again.
You got a 2-dotter again.
Cool.
Holy cow, man. Maybe they are all from the same high school.
I'm telling you.
Holy crap. Mirror lures are pretty amazing, aren't they? They just catch everything.
Nothing swims by them.
You know, summertime, you just don't think about using hard baits. Everyone's throwing soft plastic. They're all throwing stuff that's weedless, that they can work.
Yep.
You know, in and out of all this grass behind me.
Yep.
And it's just, that's cool.
They're long and skinny again. They'll be fattening up before long though.
You know your day is going to be ended by rain. And that's exactly what happened today. We're in a situation where, you know, the camera boat captain, Jeremiah Carlucci's looking at his phone. He's like, guys, you got like 15 minutes. Guys, you got like 11 minutes before the rain's here. It's like, Jeremiah, I can look over my shoulder. I see the clouds coming. We know the rain's coming. We know it. And we were trying to squeeze every bit of juice out of that last spot because it was so much fun. But when you live in Florida, and you're expecting the weather to go, you know, one way or the other, the only thing that you can really expect is change, because that's the only expectation I ever have when I fish here at home. Respectable fish. 2 spots on one side, 1 spot on the other. Nice. really want to thank Captain Greg Devault, an unbelievable experience again for not only myself, but for all of you guys, the viewers. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the Bait Depot. They allowed us to come into the shop this morning with the cameras, provided us with a couple of snacks and things like that. They've been great for us. And Pasco County, the Sports Coast. This has been a wonderful venue to rely on that's less than an hour from my house. And I really enjoy the fact that I can fish down here with not only for television, but with clients, because the trout fishing here in the winter is lights out good. The snook fishing in the spring, lights out good. And now that Greg's kind of let the secret about the late season tarpon, well, he might see me sitting there next to him a few days here in August and September now.